Up and Adams from Indianapolis. I'm so excited to be here. They have a public practice. They have a drum line here. Jonathan Taylor ran out, as you're seeing here. I felt like I was his back. I was at Tom Brady at a Morgan Wallen concert, walking Morgan out to stage. Unbelievable. Listen, let me tell you right now, we're sleeping on the defense. They're going to go from 29 to at least top 8. Kenny Moore crushing it. Defoe locked in. And let's talk about some of these additions, Tyler Warren. Hello, and yes, we'll talk about the pinky. Joined now by a perfect student, A+. You got voted or graded top of the class of the NFL in terms of coaches and culture. When you heard that news, what were you most proud of, Coach?
Well, I think anytime you take over a team, obviously you want to establish a culture and bring in good people. You know, I think it all starts with character and having the right people in your building. When you have the right people in your building, you know, you could have a chance to build something special. So our players are great. They've been phenomenal, great humans. So it's been good to be around. It's so true. I was thinking on the drive over here, like, who's the pain in the butt? Like, who's the attitude? There isn't one. There's not one. Everyone's... Yeah, we try to avoid that. So it's been good. Like I said, all those guys are great. Locker room's great. Those guys compete. Meetings are great. Everyone's pulling for each other.
This
so
is a
really good.
Roster full of I would let you date my sister people on this in personnel, which we love. Like Phillip Rivers was probably the last loudmouth that they had. I saw Edgerrin was here.
Edge was here. Edge always comes out every training camp. He's always around. Just a great, obviously a Hall of Famer, a Colt. You know, fans love him. Just hearing stories about him when he was here, just the person he was, the way he worked. I mean, I guess he lived in this building. Like, he never wanted to go home. You know, he's gotten a chance to speak to our rookies, you know, in the offseason, and the way he talks about the game and the work ethic and everything you need to be successful. It's phenomenal. So it's always great to see him out here.
When he shows up, I was watching video of it. You're like laser focused. He's talking. What is he saying to you?
We were talking about the team and how's training camp going and what we're trying to get done in training camp, and, you know, the focus on these next couple of weeks before we hit the season. And we went through that, and I was just talking about, hey, we got to create an edge during training camp and make sure we're in great physical shape, you know, come week 1.
I'm hearing it's very competitive. There's Defoe saying goodbye to Coach Lou, who we will have. Would love to talk about the defense, but let's not wait any longer to talk about this quarterback situation, competition in general, all phases, all positions, both sides of the ball. I feel like that's the word I keep hearing, which I love as a fan of these Colts. But when it comes to that process, where are you today?
I think, you know, what's great about the competition at that position is these guys are pushing each other, you know, to make each other better, and you want to see growth in both of them, and they're both pulling for each other, which is awesome. You know, you might get in a competition where some guys like, I don't want this guy to do well or whatever, but, you know, Daniel will make a play and Anthony sap for him, and vice versa on the same side. You know, AR will make a play and Daniel, you know, supports him and loves him in that regard. So that part's been really good, and I think it's only going to make both those guys better.
I flew all this way to find out about that pinky on a scale of 1 to Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer. Where is the pinky today?
The pinky's great. He's full go. They popped it back in right there on the sidelines and participated yesterday in practice. He'll be a full participant today, so we got lucky there.
How does what happened, or I would ask you this, a lot of discourse about this. What's the lesson in that play? Is it an Anthony Richardson lesson? And if so, what is it? Or what is the lesson? I'm sure you've watched it a million times already. Yeah,
it was a 5-man protection, obviously, in that situation. And we just got to understand where our issues are in that situation. If we're sliding left, you know, there's going to be one off the right side. If we're sliding right, there's going to be one off the left side that we got to manage, and just understanding that situation.
Yeah, I want him to protect himself, that Anthony Richardson. He has so much talent. The sky's the limit, and we love to see it. I know there was a plan, him starting, and then Daniel starting week 2. Are you changing any of that plan now because of what happened?
Well, Daniel will start this week against Green Bay, but he'll play a couple series, and then Anthony will get the bulk of the work, for the first half after that.
How are you going to make this decision?
Well, we're going to look at it. I talked about those guys, consistency. We need consistency at that position. Joint practice this week will be big for them, and then obviously going into the game.
Love that. Coach Lou, the new addition. I love a Coach Lou. He's going to bring a little Staten Island to this defense. Defoe just said he's no nonsense. He's no BS. He's direct and honest. What are you noticing through camp? I'm sure you guys knew each other in all the ways before. What are you noticing with this camp from Coach Lou?
Well, he is very demanding, and I love that about him. His scheme's multiple on the back end, putting guys in position to go make plays, holds those guys accountable, and I think that's really good. And obviously adding the additions of Mooney and Cam Bynum on the back end is huge for us in the secondary. So really excited about that, really excited about what he's going to bring to our team.
Anybody that stand out on defense? I have a feeling, and I'll put it to you this way. Do you think defense will be a strength on this team this year?
I do. I think obviously our defense, obviously with the defensive line we got with Buckner and Grover and Latu and Quiddy and Sampson, those guys up front, and adding Neville is big, and Zaire in the middle. And then I think Nick Cross is really coming on, going into his next year. And then obviously Cam Bynum and Mooney. And obviously, we got some competition going on at the corner spot. But I really like where our defense at, the aggressive nature we're playing with in training camp.
Do you think there's a benefit for the defense going against, and Defo was outlining the similarities between your two quarterbacks, but is there a benefit to the defense to have a quarterback competition?
Yeah, I think with anything, those guys are going out and competing, you know what I mean? And obviously with those guys, both of them are very similar in what they can do, running the football, obviously, with our scheme that we run. But it's good. It's good for the defense to see different quarterbacks, because we're going to see different quarterbacks during the season. We, of course, are here in the legacy celebration chapter of the late Jim Irsay. I'll get to hang out with Kalen today, who got that humanitarian award with ESPN. Defo was just wearing the logo on the hat. What is the energy going into the season with that push of the Jim Irsay spirit? Yeah, I think it's big. What he did for this city and this organization, bringing it to Indianapolis, couldn't be more grateful for him. I think there's a lot of gratitude for what he's done for this organization. I think we're playing for a bigger purpose, for him this year, because he meant so much to this organization, and how he went about his business, the generosity that he shared, not only with his players, but with the fans in this community. He was always so giving and caring, and, he loved the Colts. He always talked about the horseshoe and how important it was to represent the horseshoe the right way and do things the right way. So, a very unfortunate situation, but obviously he's going to be with us this year. We're celebrating his legacy, of course. Is there like a lasting moment or a conversation that's going to resonate in your head when you're approaching tough decisions or wins or losses? Yeah, we've had multiple conversations, obviously, through the last 2 years with him on the phone, in the office. He always very supportive of everything, and just said, hey, go with your gut. Make decisions. You got to go with it, and that'll stick with me too. And there's just so many great memories with him. Even the locker room in Carolina, my first year when we won, and he got out there and Meek Mill was playing, and he's dancing and he's going and he's so into it, and just you could see the passion and the love that he has for the Colts. I love this Tyler Warren. I met him at the rookie premiere. I was trying to figure. 2 targets from Anthony, 2 targets from Daniel in the preseason. Didn't go as you planned, of course. Is he an Antonio Gates vibe? I know I don't want to put that on you, but Antonio Gates. Can you give me maybe just like one thing that Warren has that that Gates had? I think he's got a natural feel for the game. I think he has an awareness for zones and voids in the defense as he's running routes. But the one thing that's really impressive about him, he's got unbelievable hands. And then when he's out in open space, like, he is so physical at the point of attack. Like, he's going to lower his shoulder and go after you. So I love that about him. Jonathan Taylor, I was going to interview him today, and then he had something going on, and I couldn't think of a question to ask him because he's got the numbers, he's done his thing. What question is there to answer about Jonathan Taylor? My job was lighter today because I didn't have anything to really talk to him about. He's such a factor. He does it so quietly. What would you ask or have me ask Jonathan Taylor? How do you stay so consistent? I think the consistency that he's done in this league over and over again, he always shows up, when we need him to make the big plays, his yards per attempt, his rushing average, his vision, just phenomenal, the consistency that he's played with throughout his career. When can I expect the media stop grilling you about the quarterback competition? Do you have it in your head when you'll make a decision? After the third preseason game, the night before the first game? Against Minkah Fitzpatrick, mind you. I don't know when I'll make that decision. Obviously, we got a couple weeks before the first, game. So obviously, it's got to be made before then, and that's probably when we'll stop getting grilled about it. Okay, thank you, Coach. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Well, that's news. No changes to the original plan. We will see Daniel Jones starting for these Colts. All I'm hearing is a lot of similarities. Would I like one to be ahead of the other? I would, but maybe we'll see that in the second preseason game against the Packers. Daniel Jones getting the start over Anthony Richardson. Richardson gets the bulk of the work as his pinky is nowhere near Anthony Munoz levels of pinkiness. Okay, up next, how about a guy who's had to go against these two quarterbacks? Defo, what are the differences? Who's got the edge? What's the dynamic like? We'll also talk to Michael Pittman Jr., who, he's 23 catches away from something special. 6th year for Michael Pittman Jr. He's on his 3rd child. Congratulations.
Thank you.
When is that
much.
happening?
any time from now to the next 2.5 weeks.
What would be ideal for you? Let's make it's all about you, Michael. What would be ideal?
Ideal would be those 3 days off that we get that's at the end of camp, but whenever it happens, it happens.
I hear you're not only like taking on a third child, if that wasn't enough of a side quest, you are becoming a pilot now also?
Yes, so that was a off-season quest. It's been put on hold for now, but my little brother Micah got me into aviation because he is a certified flight instructor, and we actually started our own flight school that's in Ogden. It's called Blitz Aviation, and he runs that all.
Yeah, Chris Ballard has to hate Micah and this entire idea. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it relates to football because in aviation, everything is like running a play. Every single landing,
the pattern,
maneuver, the traffic pattern, everything is like a scheduled play. Like you do this, and that to execute that play, and there's really no like creativity in it.
Which teammate would never get in a plane with you piloting that plane?
Ashton said that he would never, but I feel like I'm starting to change his mind.
You are. I feel like we should get a plane entrance.
Oh, absolutely.
To camp next year. Do you promise me that in your 7th year? If you can imagine, that would be your 7th year.
To land on this field, I probably need like a bush plane or something, so possibly.
Michael, I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that is, but do you know what I do know?
What?
I know that you're going to do something very cool this year.
What's that?
You're going to crack the top 5 all-time receiving for the Colts.
Oh,
do you know
really?
how many catches you need?
No, I don't. I haven't even looked.
Are you playing Kauai?
No, nobody's even brought this up, but you're the first one to bring it up.
Michael, I'm proud to tell you that you need a measly 23 catches to pass Colts Ring of Honor members Bill Brooks and Dallas Clark. The only guys ahead of you would be a Hall of Famer in Raymond Berry, T.Y. Hilton. By the way, amazing. You will be, of course, a Hall of Famer here in Indy, and then a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Reggie Wayne, and Marvin Harrison. You would... What would that be like for you?
I mean, like, it's just awesome to just be in a pool with like those guys, and I have a lot of catching up to do to get close to them, but
no, you need 23 catches. I'm not saying that catching isn't hard, but you're there, kiddo.
Yeah, so just I just got to keep on working just every single day and just keep getting better, and the rest will take care of itself.
I remember at one point last season, it was back fracture from Michael Pittman Jr. And I go, there he goes. I'm not going to see him for another 10 weeks or like IR. And then all of a sudden you were like back on the field. I think that says a lot about your toughness. How are you feeling now at close to 100%?
Yeah. I mean, we I feel like the plan that we had with our trainers and everything that they did to help me stay able to play and get back to 100% for this season. So
now that it's in the past, how hurt were you? If you could just be honest about that.
I mean, I don't like to talk about the past because it was not a great result, and this is a results-based game. But it was a physical, mental battle, lots of ups and downs, questioning yourself, and like really just a confidence thing, because you wake up like every day and like you can feel it and wonder, hey, like, am I actually helping this team, or like am I hurting the team, like just like by being out there? So
I think you helped the team.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't the win result that you wanted, but you did somehow with this back situation put up 800 plus yards for the 4th straight year, one of 14 wide receivers who's had that in each of the last 4 seasons. So there's still a consistency. There's such a toughness to your game that I just wanted to highlight, because that's the first thing I thought of when they said I was going to interview. I'm like, can we talk about his back injury from last year? You are close to full strength. You like the plan that everybody has, which we love. Can you tell me a little bit about the quarterback situation? What does it like for you to have a true, good old-fashioned quarterback competition? Yeah,
I mean, both guys are competing really well, and like I think both of them are doing great things. Like, they're different players, and they do have some like similarities as well. And
what's their biggest similarity?
Probably is that they both can run. Like, people don't realize that Danny's got a little bit of legs to him. So like they both have that like extending ability, and both of them are doing a great job, and we are excited for them to
this is our annual DeForest Buckner
drive
by. Hey, Defo. Don't try to come over here and interrupt.
Yeah,
me.
bro, you're ruining the set.
No, you're playing defense about the quarterback competition. I see you. Right on cue.
Yeah, get out of here.
Right on cue. We're talking about these quarterbacks. DeForest Buckner will be on the show. Shane Steichen will be on the show. You're talking about Danny's running ability. I mean, Shane Steichen loves to do a design run.
Absolutely.
He's a huge fan of that, as are we. You guys voted him, like, best culture. He got, like, top flying, like, A-pluses across the league as far as the NFLPA when it came to culture with Shane Steichen.
Oh, yeah.
What's one thing that sort of sets him apart?
I think that he really listens to the players and like he really thinks about us first that maybe some other places don't, and I feel like the players like really feel that from him, that he like really cares.
Okay, love hearing that. Back to sort of the quarterback thing. Anthony Richardson, he's so young. He has so much potential. He's got to protect himself out there. Not a question for you. But what have you noticed? As you know, the competition can go two ways. I know we're harping on competition in this camp, and I love to hear that. How has he handled the competition? Maybe what are you most proud of your quarterback with handling competition, and what's been that leap as iron tries to sharpen iron?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that the way that he's been able to block out all of that outside noise, because I mean, he's been getting a lot of shots like fired at him from last year to now, and just him being able to block that out and show up to work, and then like show up every single day, and I would just say that his preparation, it wasn't bad or not good before, but it's gotten even to a higher level that he's doing everything that he can to put himself in the best position possible.
What about on the field, X's and O's? Have you noticed any changes or evolving?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's hitting those throws that he worked so hard to kind of master, like this, like off season. Like you see him making a lot of those touch throws where like he's dropping it in like over those backers and over those DBs, and he's doing it consistently.
Who does Tyler Warren remind you of? Anybody?
He's
crushing it, sounds like.
I mean, I'm too young to really remember Dallas Clark, but I hear that name floated around a lot because of similar body type. For me, who does he remind me of?
I mean, he likes to protect, which I like.
Yeah,
he's not just out there catching the ball, which I'm sure you like because you're like, I'm here to catch the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like his own guy, so we're just going to have to see
what's the space you like?
What he develops into, you know?
Is he a great character? What's the vibe?
Oh, Tyler's great. I mean, me and Tyler are already really like good friends, and we fish and we do stuff together, like we eat together, and I'm just excited for him. Like I think it's going to be a great year for him.
What's like how do you balance your, we don't know who the quarterback is. It's a true quarterback competition. There's like some politicking. I remember Nate Burleson would always tell me I'd go to the backup and I'd like become best friends with him too. How do you manage your dynamic with both quarterbacks? Yeah, I mean, I really just try and treat both of them the same, because at the end of the day, like we want the best guy for this team, right? It's, like it's just like you have to eliminate feelings out of it, because I mean, honestly, it's going to be a tough situation because we know both of these guys and we want both of them to win. We want both of them to be successful, but there's only one spot, so that's kind of the hard part about it. Really well said by you. Week 1 Minka. Look at Defo over here, just towering. I felt a little like cool air come through. And Week 1 Minka, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that their whole defense is talented. That they got a lot of guys who have played ball for a really long time, and excited to get out there for our first real live action that counts for something.
I'll talk to Coach Lou. I got Defo back here, pedigreed, scary champion, but so wonderful and nice. It's a 29th ranked defense last year. Not what we wanted, not what we expect. This team's talented.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this defense is going to be a strength on this team. What is one thing that you have noticed as Defo is staring you down that has stood out to you in a positive way about this D?
Yeah, I mean, like our defensive tackles, they've been kind of soft this camp, but everything else, I've really noticed kind of the defensive change. I mean, Lou has those guys flying around. I mean, the backers, the corners, the nickel flying around everywhere. It's causing confusion, and coverage recognition is a little bit tougher. And really just the guys that we brought in, Ward coming in here, and just like having him here makes everyone better. It makes me better, makes Alec better, makes AD better, everyone.
Who's the loudmouth on this team? I was sitting here this morning.
Zaire Franklin.
It's just Z, but he's also a sweetie. Unless you talk about the Texans, he's like a little sweetie pie. There's no agitator on this entire roster.
Zaire Franklin.
That's it. It's him. It's still him, and still the reigning guy. Back to offense before I let you go. What word would you use to describe that dynamic between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones? What's one word?
One word, I would just say probably together, because even though that they're competing, they still are super close. They're still helping each other out. And I think that they want a fair shot to win that competition, and they're not going to try to go behind each other's backs.
Who won the competition for actually planning that trip the team took, the fishing trip? Who actually did that?
Yeah, so that was a joint operation between everybody. So we got out to
Political
Cali.
answer.
we got out to Cali, and the fishing was definitely my idea. I had to make sure that we caught some fish.
Who caught the bigger fish, Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones?
Honestly, I don't know, because they were on Mark Sanchez's boat, so we took two boats. So we took my boat and then Mark Sanchez's boat.
The Vikings did that one time. It did not work out very well.
Well, we had a lot of guys and a lot of fun on both boats.
Okay, so. I'm glad. Good, clean fun, which we love to hear. Thank you so much for hanging out, as always. And yeah, I'm glad. I mean, you at full strength. I can't wait. You're looking at my cards. It just says "Happy Baby Number 3."
Yeah.
Happy Baby Number 3.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck this year. It's my favorite thing when I have to refer to my paper to make sure I get all of the accolades correctly for a guest. So here he is, the soul, the backbone of this Colts defense, a 3-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro D tackle, entering, I cannot believe we're celebrating 10 years in the NFL, 6 as a Colts. DeForest Buckner, how are you? What does that feel like?
It feels great. I mean, I still feel young, even though I get all these crazy comments about being Unc or, the father of the defense or whatever it is, but I mean, I still feel young. I feel great.
Can you give me like your Unc moment though? Like what's one that you're like, what?
Well, I have in the past, actually it was about a year ago, guy came in, we brought him in during OTAs, and he goes, man, DeForest, I mean, I remember watching you, I remember watching you when I was, what was it, when I was like 13 or whatever, blah, blah, and I'm like, that's great. I just made me feel old.
It's your Unc moment.
Yeah,
but your peak, you look amazing. Or did you lean out a little bit or no?
I try to stay straight on the slimmer side. Yeah, for sure.
So you don't knock over that scooter. Is
exactly.
that so you have the same scooter?
Same
I feel
scooter.
Like very different defense though.
Yeah.
29th last year. You don't like that number, I can tell. I'm going to say it so it agitates you a little bit.
Yeah.
What is the goal for DeForest Buckner in this year's defense?
No, yeah, I mean, we want to be a top 5 defense. You know what I mean? When you turn the film on, we want teams to see, all 11 guys on the screen flying around, making plays, feeling the energy pop off of the film and everything when you're watching it. So, we got a lot to prove this year, and bringing in Lou has been great for all of us.
What's that first conversation with Lou? Take me back.
Oh, no BS.
Your first impression?
Yeah,
oh, really?
Just no BS. You know what I mean? He just doesn't sugarcoat anybody, anything. He doesn't let anything slide. There's a certain standard, and we all have to uphold that standard. And, I mean, it's been great. I've been loving it. I mean, he'll get on. It doesn't matter if it's me. It doesn't matter if it's the lowest guy on the totem pole. I mean, everybody he's going to shoot it to him straight.
How's your foot? Shoot me straight.
Oh.
Lou Anarumo me.
Huh?
You suffered a bit of an injury?
Yeah. For sure. I feel great.
They both look fine, the same size.
They both look good. We're
you
good.
Feel great, Clister.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just people want to know. You're a big part of this. Okay, since your rookie year, you've recorded the most tackles by a DT, over 100 more than the next closest guy, Buckner. And it's not just the size. It's not just the athleticism. It's this thing you have that I watch. Like you have this instinct to sort of attack people. Yeah. How do you make it look so easy? How would you describe it for a 5-year-old?
I guess instinct. You know what I mean? When you're out there and you get the flow of the game, you see what the offense is running, and obviously they start running a lot of the same plays over and over again, what's been working for them or whatever that is, or their, kind of their, I guess their go-to plays, and as you're going along, you start feeling it. You start reading the offensive linemen's, their demeanor and little things like that, and obviously watching film, certain formations they come out in, personnel, and that allows me to play quick, a step quicker.
Okay, so I feel like you're happy, you're satisfied with this Coach Lou thing. Are you two in lockstep, texting stuff like that? Like do you feel like a coach out there?
Yeah, I mean lately for sure I've been, putting on that little player coach hat, you know what I'm saying, when I'm out there helping some of the guys, if I see something, or even the young guys when we're going through individual drills, or if I see something, when they're out there on the field, little things that can help them and everything like that. So, when everybody's doing well, when I'm doing well, the team's doing well. So,
what do you think the biggest change will be this season from last season because of Lou?
I think just the
What
energy.
does your instinct tell you? Oh, the energy.
The energy, yeah, you know what I mean? When guys are making plays, everybody's celebrating. That was one of the biggest things that he told us too. When I see a big play, I want all you guys to be celebrating each other. Make sure you guys got your celebrations ready, all that kind of stuff. So, that's been great. And just the standard, like I said before, he doesn't waver from his standard, from all phases of the defense, and, all the guys are going in, kind of walking on eggshells going into meetings like, okay, you know what I mean? I made sure I did this today.
I would love that,
saying?
though, did
Oh,
it?
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not for
definitely.
everybody,
Yeah.
but it's what you need to have a great defense.
For sure.
I
Yeah.
love that. You talked about celebrating. Is that why he brought in Cam Bynum?
And,
Is that was that the one for
that was a package
We need
deal.
a guy who celebrates on this team.
No,
I
that
mean,
was a
really.
package deal. Cam's hell of a player, and on top of that, he brings a lot of energy with the celebrations and everything. You saw that last year, what he was able to do with that defense in Minnesota. So we're definitely going to have a lot of showtime.
Ward?
Yeah, Mooney. Yeah, he's a lockdown corner. He's been great since he stepped in the league, and just to see, just having that feeling of one side of the field shut down. That's great for everybody, and it like Pitt was saying, it makes everybody on the offensive side better. You know what I mean? It makes the receivers work on the releases a little better, stuff like that. So he's just making everyone better around
You
him.
said top 5 defense. That would be quite a turnaround.
Yeah.
From 29. Can you just tell me a little bit more about what your role is in that? Your goals. Your numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Your presence. I think your leadership, which it sounds like you're taking on more of a leadership role.
Yeah.
Can you just sort of tell me how you're going to get this defense there?
Yeah. Grove and I always say it all the time up front, like it starts with us. We set the tone, and, going into every game, we got to make sure we set the tone early and often, and that's kind of what I'm going into this year. Obviously, that's what I try to go into every year, and also obviously consistently being a problem, for the quarterback or for the running back or whatever it is, just continuing to do my job at a high level.
Well, you have 2 quarterbacks. Lucky you. 2
Yeah.
quarterbacks to plan for, to get to
Yep.
know, one that you know very well, one new addition. What's your takeaway? What's your
Yeah.
Instagram caption of this quarterback competition?
No, they're competing. And that's the biggest thing, they came in both prepared, ready to go. They're working together. They celebrate each other, even though they're in competition, and that's what that's what you love to see, you know what I mean? Healthy competition, and they're both getting equal reps, and at the end of the day, the coaches are going to make the decision, and the team's going to rally behind whoever it is. But we all know whoever that next guy is, we know he's going to stay ready. So there's shouldn't be a problem moving forward.
Shouldn't be a problem moving forward.
Yeah.
For you, I always like to think of the positive in something, right? Like, cause it's like what's the benefit of having a quarterback competition, right? From your perspective, defensively, what's the benefit? Like, what's the plus for you guys to have this going on and still not having a starter named?
No, yeah. We get to see, obviously, 2 different guys, 2 different looks. Obviously, they have similar play styles. Obviously, DJ can still run the ball and everything like that. So, this league, a lot of the quarterbacks, they're a lot more mobile quarterbacks, this day and age. Nobody's back there being a statue. So, it keeps us prepared on our feet, and especially in the passing game, as a D-line, keeping our rush lanes, making sure we have the quarterback contained and not leaving big passing lanes open. So they both provide that for us, and when they roll out, and we know they both have a big arm and they both can make those downfield throws.
But
so
they're different, though, right? Like,
No,
they're
yeah.
not carbon copies, right?
No, definitely not. They when you're out there, DJ, he has a little bit more experience, playing in the league a little bit more. So there's some things that he probably can pick up, and that you got to kind of be a little bit more silent with, or whatever it is. And AR, he's doing a really good job with picking up blitzes and stuff like that in practice and stuff like that. So they're both a little different, but similar in the same way.
I don't want to make it sound like you're an unk. I'm feeding into the unk vibes. I don't want to be patronizing about like what you're proud of with Anthony Richardson, but what have you noticed that's maybe been hasn't been noticeable before bringing in this competition?
Yeah, just his sense of urgency. You know what I mean? Just the way he responded to having a quarterback competition. You know what I mean? He was, open to it and he was ready for it, and you can tell, when he got back and the camp that he's been able to put together. So I mean, it's been fun to see.
Who's the human smelling salt on this team?
The human smelling salt. I mean, I'd probably say myself. Well, that's one of them. And
you're the energy guy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say,
it's you,
Zaire. I mean, we got a couple of us, but
you don't want to say Zaire. I love it. Why don't you want to give it to Zaire?
No. I mean, I was thinking more of the whole smelling salt situation that we had going on.
Tell
about
me
the.
What were your thoughts? Listen, I was with Levante David the day it broke. Him and Baker, who were like the poster boys for the poster men for this for this thing. I was like joking. I didn't realize how important it was to y'all.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But luckily it's like not a thing. But what were your thoughts? Like what was
I mean, initially I was like, man, I'm going to year 10. I might have to retire after this.
That's what Levante said. He goes, I'm 14 years in. Bye.
No, yeah. But I mean, at first we were kind of like, man, we can't do smelling salts anymore. You know what I mean? It kind of gets you awake and ready to go for the next drive. So
is it every drive for you? Like Levante?
It's every drive.
Every drive is
crazy.
Every drive
for me. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking though? I was like, if this ban is a thing, or like if it whatever. The Colts have an advantage. Want to know why?
Why?
Because I think you guys should just call up St. Elmo's and be like, we need every game that horseradish sinus clearing stuff,
for sure.
and y'all would be a 10 out of 10. That's the advantage the
Definitely,
Colts have on the rest of the league. Okay, perfect. Anything else that I missed? Oh, I would love to hear from you. Just somebody else that I need to be paying attention to as I watch camp today and tomorrow.
Yeah, somebody else you should be paying attention to.
Who's crushing?
I would say Laiatu is having a great camp. Yeah.
Show the board. Oh, he had that. He literally had it.
Laiatu's been having a great time. He's been having a great camp. Things. I feel like things have been slowing down, and he's really honing into himself. JT, he's been looking really well as a young guy. Man, I'm just going guys off of my group. So
I didn't notice your hat until right now.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the patches on the jerseys, the celebration of Jim Irsay's legacy, week one, of course, with the Ring of Honor. What has this been like for you and for the team?
No, I mean, obviously, it's a big change. And he left behind a big legacy. I mean, Mr. Irsay was a great man. I mean, he talk about somebody that would take the clothes off his back for somebody. That's the type of person he was, and celebrating his life and hearing a lot of the stories and everything that he's done that I never heard of, or a lot of us haven't heard of. I mean, just the generosity that came from that man was unbelievable. And we talk about it all the time as a team. We want to dedicate this season to him, and we have to win for him. And he just wanted us to be, he wanted that winning culture again. And this is a start.
I love that, and he's up there rooting for you.
Yeah,
These
definitely.
are little angels in the outfield moment for these Colts. We love it. Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Kay.
By next year, I expect DeForest Buckner to roll in here on a drone, at least a drone, or maybe a plane, like we just talked to Michael Pittman Jr. about. Up next, after this, the maestro, the madman, the maniac, and architect of this defense. 29th to 5th, says DeForest Buckner. We'll hear what Coach Lou Anarumo has to say after this. First-year defensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts, but a man who knows Indianapolis quite well from 8 years back in the day. Coach Lou, how are you?
Hello, how we doing?
Let me just get a real look at you with this with this logo. You're smiling.
Absolutely.
How would you describe how this feels? You got hired January 21st. From then to now, what's been the biggest sort of standout thing?
It's just been the people. I know you just finished with Shane and how great he's been, and really the whole organization, ownership on down. The day I walked in the building, I felt like I belonged, and it's been great.
What's one thing that stuck out about the team that maybe you didn't see on tape, or you didn't know about the organization, or even just Coach Shane?
Yeah, so the quality of the people, again, both in the personnel, the staff, the support staff, and then the players. They've got quality people here. Not only really good players, but they're better men, which is so great. Makes it that much easier to coach these guys.
I do think there's some really good players on this team.
I agree.
I do. 29th didn't make sense when I looked it up this morning. Defo wants top 5. How are you going to fulfill that order?
We have been preaching that since the day we got here. So, it's like we always talk about with any defense I've ever coached, doing the fundamentals the right way and, being a better tackling team, taking the ball away, things like that everybody preaches, but that's what gets you to the top.
I asked Defo, of course, 10-year vet, 6th year here with the Colts, how would you describe a Lou defense? And I was like, "Is it a little Staten Island? What is it?" And he said, "No BS," which is a little Staten Island. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I just try to eliminate the gray for the guys, and if they, they know from the first meeting, I told them, again, if you're an 11-year vet or an undrafted free agent rookie, we're going to coach you the same way, and everybody deserves that, and everybody should want that, hey, if you're doing it right, that's great, and if you're not, we got to hold everybody accountable, and I think they appreciate that, and, we'll continue that method.
Coach Shane asked me to ask you about the quarterbacks.
That's funny.
Who,
you put me on the spot,
as of yesterday, who's winning the competition, Coach?
Oh, I don't know. I just think that that's a great question for Shane. But I think both guys have had their moments for sure in training camp.
Is there something that sticks out? Because you didn't know, I can ask everybody else about Anthony Richardson last year to this year, not you. You did face Danny Dimes, though. Yeah, twice in your career.
And we did play. We practiced against the Colts last year in training camp. So I do see the progression there. As a third-year player, I think Daniel's always had a good skill set to be successful. What was it, 3 years ago? We led the team to the playoffs. So again, they both have their moments in their careers, and certainly here in preseason.
Why would you say this is a good spot for Daniel?
I just think that his Shane's system, the way he manages the quarterbacks and plays offense, sets up well for him.
Designed runs. Suits up
a little bit of all of that, yeah.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of all that.
Who on defense, in your opinion, I'm sure you knew this because of tape and hearing things and doing your research, is there somebody who sort of surprised you in this camp where you're like, oh, I don't know we had that, or okay, I can work with this. This is better than I thought.
I think, Kenny Moore, for one, just his awareness, his savviness, really good cover guy. He reminds me of Mike Hilton. And Kenny, is very similar there. And then the guys up front, really Latu with his athletic ability and what he brings.
What are you going to unlock in Latu?
Yeah, I can't wait. A different hairdo, hopefully. but
no BS, ladies and gentlemen. But that's one that I'm really excited about you to get your paws on.
Same. Yeah, same. And Buck, who was just here, he's one of those guys that's just dying to win. And we want to make sure they've been so close here. A game out of a playoff spot a couple years in a row, and we want to make sure we get back there, especially for the veteran guys.
Are you using Defo in like a leadershipy way that you've been used maybe before, unlocking something as far as being more vocal, player coach vibes?
I just think I'm not sure how in the past, but I know this is I want to empower those guys to make it their group, make it their team, give them ownership, and a guy like Buck and Grover. The guys that have been around, Zaire, they want that, and as long as it's always in the right direction and we're always looking to help and be problem solvers, I'm all for it.
Can you blitz these bees that are
I'm trying.
buzzing around?
Yeah,
at
least they're
I
little.
hope you do a better job with this defense than these bees, Coach. Hey, I'm happy to see you.
Same.
Why wasn't John Harbaugh
What
happy
happened?
to see you? I believe the number was 49. 49 passing yards. He did not hold back on how unhappy that made him. How did you do that?
Well, it was preseason, and we were trying some different things, and the guys. It started with the second play of the game where we had the interception, and we got to do a better job in the run defense. That's what they prided. But it was good to see. Two takeaways, 2 interceptions, and it was a good start.
You're trying not to smile, Coach. I love it. He was not happy. You were a total mad scientist. Yeah. What's in the Sunday sauce? What's in what's in Nona's sauce of this defense? What are you bringing?
Have we been to Nona's or what?
Is it potentially? How do you say it? We gotta go to Nona's. Nona's. I don't know. What's in the secret sauce? Coach?
I just think trying to keep these great quarterbacks off balance. And when you're playing in the biggest games, I think that's what it comes down to, and not making it easy for those guys. And so. That's always the challenge, make them one-dimensional as best you can and try to change the picture on those guys.
Your last preseason game is in Cincinnati.
Is it?
Where I saw you last. It is. Did you not know that, Coach?
I did.
Who's the first person that you're going to track down to say hi to? Who's important for you to say hi to first?
Yeah, I'll go see Mr. Brown, thank him. All those people are great. We felt like we did so much there. To kind of turn it to where it is now. Certainly players, obviously, and felt like, we did some good things as well. And so I'll seek out Mr. Brown.
I love that. Trey Hendrickson's still waiting on the contract extension. But a few months ago, he was on Pat McAfee, local boy here in Indy. Here's what he said, quote, an elite leader of men. is what you are. He said, quote, "I love him, and he's been a tremendous mentor." That's a very high compliment. That is a really, really beautiful thing. Would you like to give him a compliment, say something nice back to Trey?
I love Trey as well. He's the ultimate pro. He did so many great things for us, so many big sacks in the biggest games, and that's when it really counts. However it works out there, I think, he'll be ready to go one way or the other. But
what do you mean, however it works out there? Are you surprised it's not done? I'm crying about it every night.
I know. I'm not there anymore, so I can't comment. But he's a great player. They know it. He knows it. And, he's just a tremendous pass rusher. So love the guy.
I do have to ask you, because this is the discourse on Twitter from people who aren't madmen like you. His value. Over the hill, past his prime, doesn't add much, can win without him, can't. Is he invaluable? Is he untouchable? And how would you describe his value to that defense?
Yeah, so to address, the age part, he's a young 30. He is a workout freak. He's always in the weight room. He's constantly training. So he's got a bunch of years left in him for sure. He's a freak athlete. And his numbers speak for itself. I think any team would say, 17 and a half sack guy, we'll take him.
What do people not talk about with him? Is it those big play moments? Is that what you're?
I don't even know. He can just generate a rush like nobody's business. So that's what it's all about.
When I'm watching this Green Bay preseason game, how will I know Coach Lou's happy? Coach Lou's gonna go hit the town after this.
3 and out.
3 and out, just every time.
Well, that'd be nice, but Green Bay's a good team, as we know. So, but as long as we're playing hard, we're focusing on taking the ball away, proper angles on tackling. That's how you improve tackling. So, good tackling game, good run defense, and we'll let the pass stuff take care of itself.
Elite leader of men, tremendous mentor, Coach Lou. Post-workout, pre-practice. Great to see you.
Yes, same here. Thanks for having me again.
Known as Special Sauce. Wouldn't tell me a thing. Coach Lou's the rookie in town. Did not get the secret sauce out of him, but very excited about what he can do with guys like Latu and a 10-year veteran in DeForest Buckner. Kenny Moore, a guy wants to highlight. You only heard it right here on Up and Adams. Up next, we will talk to the owner, the queen of the Indianapolis Colts with so much to give. She's got the biggest heart ever. Kalen Jackson is on the show next. Joined now by the owner, the chief brand officer, wanted to make sure to get that right, Kalen, and president, of course, of the Indianapolis Colts Foundation, Kalen Jackson. Thank you for having us at camp. It's one of our favorite stops, the welcome, and I'm so happy to be here at a public practice. How's it been so far?
It's been so good. We're so excited you're here. Seriously, you've been all over the place, and we're glad that you're with us.
It's a good old quarterback competition with new defensive coordinators, so much to celebrate and be excited about. And I know that we are all about this season celebrating the legacy of your dad.
Yeah, so it's obviously been a really tough summer for us, but people have asked, of course, how are we doing and how does it feel new and all those things. But I think the biggest thing transition wise is just that he's not here, and I think that part is obviously really difficult for us. We were a really close family, and he dreamed of this happening someday. This is what he used to talk about since we were kids, that he could see his 3 daughters as women take on this role. And I think as time went on, and then obviously once he passed, realizing how bittersweet and that moment was, that moment that he dreamed so much of, that he knew he'd never be there to see it. And so I think if anything, it lights a fire in us to want to make him proud, and I think that when we won the Super Bowl and he turned to us and said, remember this moment because you may never get here again, and I want you to stop and remember how you feel, because to get here is impossible. Everything has to go right. Everything has to go perfectly right. And this is such a huge moment. And I think we hope to be able to get back there and remember that moment that we had with him and get back to the top again. That's the obviously overarching goal.
It sounds like he prepared you for this, but you can't prepare for it.
Yeah.
It's incomprehensible. Can you sort of explain, if you can, what this past month's been like?
Yeah, I think there's parts of it that you're so busy that it kind of delays the grieving process in some ways. But it's also a beautiful thing in the sense that, when someone passes, a lot of times you feel like everyone moves on. but the whole city and the whole NFL community and everyone has been so kind and grieving it with us still. And everywhere we go, we get to hear these amazing stories about him and how they impacted his life and how they impacted the league. And of course, we know so many of those, but we love hearing that, and it keeps his memory alive. You know, I think that's what a lot of people hope, is that someone doesn't just disappear when they're gone. And he definitely never will. And I think he lives in everything that we do and everything that we think of and decide. I got this new tattoo for him this off season. It's a cross that he would wear all the time. And I think just the whole idea of this whole season, being able to you know, memorialize him in so many ways. But as I said, he lives in the Horseshoe. It's like he is that. And I think being able to bring football to the state of Indiana and to see what he left as a legacy, you know, from the stadium to bringing the Super Bowl here in 2012, the list goes on and on. He did so much, and he gave us this access and trust at such a young age that when people ask about the transition, of course, there are elements that might be new or decisions that are now in our laps, but he let us in all of those conversations. We were never not allowed to be a part of that. And he would ask us, you know, even if I was like, yes, I understand. Like, say we were in an owner's meeting. I have a memory of being at a dinner, and he was like, we were talking about the owners' meetings that day, and he said, so you understood what they were saying? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, explain it to me. I want you to explain it back to me. So, like, he really, you know, he wanted to know we really got it and understood the seriousness of this business. But he also loved the football side and the fun side and the fan side. And so we're trying to take all of that and continue it and obviously add our own little flair to it. But I mean, I hear him all the time, you know, that'll never go away.
Is there one thing that you hear over and over again, or like a?
There's a few. There's a few. I mean, he always talked about he hated the word owner. He loved the word steward, because he's like, you know, before me there was somebody, and after me there'll be you, and hopefully, and then after you guys there'll be somebody else, and it's your job to. It's not just about the team and the league. It's about how you impact the community, how you impact the state, how you impact the world. And so he really liked the word steward, because he doesn't own anything. He's like, we don't own anything. This is a gift. Like, it's a blessing that we get to have this opportunity. And I think with a lot of challenges comes opportunity, and with opportunity comes great responsibility. And I think we really, really feel that. But I would say that he used to always say, it's amazing what you can get done when nobody cares who gets the credit. So it's one that I always really think of. And, you know, when it comes to the football side, I think that we hope to continue the legacy. He always said, doesn't matter what player you talk to, from what year, that he said more than once to them, what do you need? What can I give you? How can we be there for you? And I think that that's what we hope to continue. That it's something that we think is a key to success, is being whatever they need, giving it to them to succeed. And I think that really, you know, kind of goes into even the elements in the community, and with Kicking the Stigma in particular, and how we don't just apply that outside the building, but within the building. What do you need to take care of yourself mentally? Like, this is an important element of your life, and how can we be different? Like, how can we support you in any possible way, where if you do have a need there, that you can heal with dignity, just like you would with a physical injury.
It's so well said, Kalen, and the entire NFL world, and beyond that, of course, because the message of Kicking the Stigma goes beyond NFL.
Yeah.
In every facet of life. We are so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
And I've noticed the outpouring of just love for your dad.
Yeah.
Since it happened. Just people sharing memories, things that just what he meant to them, people outside of the football world. He lives as this legend, and it's been really, I think, powerful to see this sort of outpouring. I'm so glad that you've obviously witnessing that over the past month as you're deciding and navigating how you want to memorialize him.
Yeah.
Whether it's week 1 next Monday with Kicking the Stigma, which I'd love to hear about at the practice. What is important to you? Like, what is important to you in memorializing this legend that's your dad?
Well, I think the hardest thing is, it's like, how do you even do that, you know? But I think really every element, from the patches on the jerseys this year, to the pins, to, you know, inducting him to the Ring of Honor in the first game, is going to be a really special moment. You know, we plan to have all our kids there for that moment, and to be surrounded by so many of the players who really were like family. You know, I think that's what goes back to that when his dad bought the team in the 70s, all he wanted was a big family, and he found that that team was like that for him. And I think he never wanted to lose that element. And I think making sure that fans understand that we know how much they're grieving him with us, and that we're able to really showcase how he was on and off, like in terms of on and off the field, I guess, if you will, like with the Colts and without. Because like you said, he made such impact all over wherever he went, whoever he spoke to. I always said, actually in my eulogy, I said about him, he would strike up a conversation with a homeless guy in the streets of New York and talk to him no differently than he would an NFL owner, because he really truly cared about people, and that never stopped. And I think for him, having so many struggles in his life with substance use disorder, he taught me how you have hope and you pull yourself out of those dark places no matter what they are, whether it's in business and something goes wrong, or whether it's in your personal life, that you keep getting back up and you keep having that faith. And he really also taught us to take a really long view, which I think is one of the most important things in this business. So we just are so thankful for all he's taught us.
And I feel like when I look at just this patch and this pin that I put on, the first thing I thought was, when I look at this, I'll think, be vulnerable. Be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because I think for me personally, it's something that I struggle with. And your dad was so open. He was open to talk about anything, adversity, struggles, things that he's been through. People don't like to be that way, and it's so important. So that's, I think, just for me, like the lasting impact and being open. And I like that you said faith, because it's so true. He just had faith and hope. With everything, and being able to overcome things at all odds.
Yeah. Well, and he always said, don't give up 5 seconds before the miracle. Like, you never know when that time's coming, and you can't keep staying down. You got to get back up and count your blessings and what you do have. And there's always something. There's always light in the darkness. Sometimes you have to look a lot harder.
You experienced this moment at the ESPYs that is goosebumps. In 110-degree heat, I have goosebumps, because thinking of you accepting the humanitarian award, what that meant, all the work you've done, how proud your dad must be. What was that moment like, getting that award?
It was really emotional. I think I've done a lot of talking about him, and I had to pause at the beginning of my speech just because when he found out we were even nominated, because we were nominated 3 years in a row and then we won this year, he was just in awe, I think, of what we've been able to build with this initiative. And I think forever he is so proud of his impact in the community, and knowing that it's not about the accolades, like I said with his other quote, who cares who gets the credit. It's about the fact that those credits enable this conversation to continue and get bigger and make that much more of an impact. And so I felt him there with me for sure. And I know that he was smiling down at me, and it was so nice to have Pat McAfee with us as well. And they had such a close relationship. So it was meaningful in so many ways, I think. And so many people reached out afterwards because they know how much it would have meant to him, to have that. And being the third team to have won that award in the NFL was super special as well. And so it was just an honor, and met so many amazing people. That whole night I was inspired by. You leave so inspired to even do more, because you look at what everyone's doing. It's amazing.
What more can you do? I'm looking at honestly, I'm
we
looking
can
at
always do
and
more.
Congratulations on the award and all the money and like what this has become. And you like getting the other teams in
That's
last year and
honestly
this
one
year
of
with
the
the
most
Packers. Are the Packers
encouraging
in?
things. The Packers are in
Let's
this year.
go. What are they doing?
So we're similar. We're doing the shirts for coaching staff doing during practice or joint practice, but they're also going to be doing a joint service project again, like we've done. They're going to be boxing Narcan kits for Overdose Lifeline, one of our grantees. So they're going to be putting together 2,000 kits, which are imperative in terms of saving people's lives, but also allowing them to get help. So it's to me, having teams continually join us in this effort is so meaningful, and it really showcases to their fans too. Everyone who's done it with us so far have had the best response.
It's everywhere,
and it's wonderful. I mean, that's the whole point. Mm-hmm. We've always said, it's not about our logo. That's why we take our logo off. We put their logo on. As long as you're willing to talk about it. Yeah, it's like as long as you're willing to talk about it, that's what makes the difference. So. So that's our version, and then theirs will have obviously the Packers logo on it. So
kicking the stigmas.
Yes.
I mean, this is everywhere. And I was looking at the numbers. I mean,
I know we're going to be up to, because we have our most
Kalen.
recent grants being announced, and so that'll be another 800,000. So we'll be up to over 32 million committed since 2020, which is being able to make a huge impact for sure.
What has been the most rewarding part watching the success of this?
I think just seeing the actual change and shift in conversation, because that's really been the main point. because that changes the way things are done on all levels, in terms of support and things being funded and things being covered. And realizing that I think when people have a physical injury, people realize and respect like what they're going through. And I think with this, the stigma piece, what that really means is that a lot of people don't feel like they have dignity in healing that part of them, and that is deserved. And so how do we continue to support the organizations that are doing amazing work to create more resources and just more conversation and making it, because whether you're having a crisis or whether you're just having a moment and you're having a week that you need to work through, it's like exercising a muscle. Like, you don't want to get to that crisis point. If you can work on yourself in ways and not have to get to that point, that's also part of the preventative care that's really important too in terms of understanding mental health.
I've seen a huge shift among players as I cover all 32 teams, and I'm dead serious. I've gotten players to tell me that kicking the stigma has played a role in that vulnerability.
Means so much to hear
and that's why
that.
it made me think of the other teams that do it, because I've had people that have been involved in that who have talked to me.
That means so much, and that's why it's so
That's
important. The simplicity of shirts, pins, ads. It may seem so simple, but it's really not. It's that person sitting alone in their house thinking, I don't know if I can do this anymore, and seeing a player saying, me too, or I've been there, or I know someone who's been there and it's okay. That has changed people's lives. We've had fans come up to players, to coaches, saying, literally, because of the PSA, I shifted my conversation. I told my dad that I was struggling and I got the help that I needed. And that alone is what keeps us going,
Incredible work with Kicking the Stigma. Thank you for everything that you do. Now, as your role as Chief Brand Officer, Colts fans want to know what to expect. What should we be excited about? They're here at practice, watching their team, cheering them on. Is there something you're super focused on this next year?
Gosh, well, I feel like how much time do you have? I was like, we always have so much going on. But I think always the focus is on the fan, and that honestly is something that we all are a smaller market, but we always call ourselves a small, big town. We feel the interest from our fans. I think we hope to give them more access to our players, meaning seeing how they are, actually getting to know their personalities, more that helmets off types of content, and being able to connect with them in that way. I think we've already done that, but I think we're trying to take that to the next level.
Open practices. Look what we have going on
exactly.
here.
I mean,
there was a line. I always thought I was going to miss my Shane Steichen interview because there was a line of fans here an hour before.
Well, and this is a huge element.
Practice.
Training camp is a huge time for us to be able to connect with fans, bringing their kids out. Being able to expose
here in Indianapolis.
Yes. And it's been, I think we hear often, be able to, even walking along the field and stopping and talking to fans, I think it's like that connection point. We always want that connection point to be there. I think, we joke and people joke about my dad giving out $100 bills at training camp. But in a way, it seems like so crazy and flashy, but at the same time, it was his way, just another way that he could say thank you. And it's I think we hope to continue that trend of thanking our fans, making them understand we know the commitment they make to us. We know the impact we have on their lives. Because we know when we have a loss, it affects their whole week. But I think the biggest thing in terms of the team and everything, what I'm most excited about is we have intense competition this year. And I really think that really generates a successful team. And so I'm super excited about that. Camp's been great. And I think we just have a great year ahead.
I keep hearing that word competition. It is
I
both
think it's
sides of
key.
the ball. It is, it is key, and I can't wait to see what happens week 1 and on. Now, week 1 is that game against the Dolphins. You mentioned at the top the Colts Ring of Honor. Any insight into what fans can expect?
It'll definitely be an emotional moment for sure. And I think, like other Ring of Honors, we will have our other members in. But I don't want to give it all away.
Okay, I was going to say, wow. I love that. How can people support Kicking the Stigma? I'm sure.
Yes, so there's many ways. We'll be having some new apparel that'll be coming out this year, and the proceeds go to Kicking the Stigma, of course. There'll be 50-50 raffles. Part of the 50-50 raffle at the game, this home opener, will go to Kicking the Stigma, as well as at our Kicking the Stigma game. But you can go to kickingthestigma.org to find out all the ways you can support us. But honestly, it's being open and talking about it in your own community, in your own family, and seeing the ways you can change the conversation, because it doesn't have to be a donation. It doesn't have to be you spending money. It can simply be being compassionate, educating yourself about it, and being kind to yourself and to others.
It's a simple message, but you work so hard, Kalen, I have to tell you. Like, when I saw you get that award, I was like, F yes. Sorry to say it that way. Because you've dedicated so much of your time to this cause, to kicking the stigma. I'm sorry for your loss, as I said,
Thank
but
you.
the Colts are in such good hands. You are so well prepared for this. I cannot wait to see what the future holds with your dad very present and by your side.
Well, I really appreciate it. It's really kind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So great. I'm so appreciative of Kalen Jackson for taking the time here with so much on her plate, as she just told us, and was so vulnerable as her dad was and always stood, about the challenges of this, of having to grieve, leaving time to grieve, while also stewarding, in her own words and in her late father's words, this this franchise in this new chapter. I'm so looking forward to week 1. It's going to be so emotional, a well-deserved celebration of Mr. Irsay's legacy. I only met him a couple of times, and his impact on me was felt. I can only imagine how heartbroken this fan base is. The whole city of Indianapolis, the NFL at large, of course, of fellow owners, and most importantly, Mr. Irsay's family, his 3 daughters, who we just talked to Kalen, of course. The legacy, you can tell, is living on. It's driving not only this team, this community, these fans forward. I was walking with Kalen after the interview, and fans were shouting her out, screaming, "We love Jim," and so on. So his presence certainly felt, and I cannot say enough that you should go support Kicking the Stigma. You should check in on a friend who you think might be having a good day, a bad day. Check in on your people. It's something so little. And of course, ask for help. That's the message of Kicking the Stigma, recognizing it, being open about it, accepting help, and giving it as well. So big thanks not only to her, but to Mr. Conti, the best PR guy in the business. I love coming to Indianapolis. I appreciate these Colts, and I'm very much looking forward to 2025.